Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the future you've always desired, the life that feels so real in your heart, but perhaps still distant in your current reality. The truth is, the gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't as wide as it seems. The hidden key that bridges this gap is visualization. Visualization is not daydreaming. It is not wishful thinking. It is the deliberate act of rehearsing your future in your mind until your brain and body believe it is real. You see, your subconscious does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you physically experience. When you repeatedly create a picture in your mind with clarity and emotion, you begin to rewire your brain, recondition your body, and shift your energy toward that vision. Most people wait for circumstances to change before they feel different. They wait for the promotion before they feel successful, for the relationship before they feel love, for the healing before they feel whole. But that's living life backwards. True transformation happens when you decide to feel the state of your desired future now, before it arrives, when you can feel abundant without money, when you can feel worthy without validation, when you can feel free before circumstances confirm it. You signal to your brain and body that the future has already happened. Every thought you think produces a biochemical response. The brain sends signals to the body, and the body experiences emotions. When you hold a thought long enough, it becomes a feeling. When you live in that feeling long enough, it becomes a state of being. Now imagine what happens when you hold the vision of your dream with intensity, with consistency, and with unwavering belief. Your brain fires new neural connections. Your heart emits a new electromagnetic field. Your body starts aligning with a new destiny. This is not philosophy, it is science. Studies show that when athletes mentally rehearse their performance, their brains activate the same regions as if they were physically practicing. In other words, the brain doesn't wait for the event, it prepares for it. If a golfer can improve his swing by visualizing it, if a pianist can refine her performance by imagining it, what do you think you can create when you visualize your dream life with the same dedication? But here is the secret: it's not enough to just see the picture. You must feel it. The more elevated the emotion you bring, gratitude, joy, love, excitement, the stronger the signal you send into the field around you. Visualization works because it combines intention with emotion. The image in your mind is the blueprint, and the elevated emotion is the energy that brings it to life. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. You can live in the memory of the past, repeating the same thoughts, the same feelings, and the same behaviors that keep you anchored to yesterday. Or you can step into the unknown and imagine the future you want to create. When you wake up and visualize yourself already living that future, and when you align your emotions with that vision, you start signaling a new destiny before it has even unfolded. So ask yourself, who do I want to become? What future do I want to live in? Take time daily to rehearse it in your mind. See it as clearly as you can. Feel it as deeply as possible. Stay consistent, and over time, you will no longer be chasing your dreams. Your dreams will be drawn to you. Visualization is the hidden key, not because it magically delivers your desires, but because it changes you. And when you change, everything around you must also change. The greatest power you have is to step into the reality of your vision before it physically exists. And if you do that long enough, with enough energy and enough faith, the line between imagination and reality will blur, and one day you will wake up living the dream you once held only in your mind. So, start today. Visualize with clarity, feel with intensity, believe with certainty. Your future is already waiting for you to see it. Everything you experience in your life, every success, every challenge, every outcome is not happening by accident. It is a reflection of the consciousness you carry within. We often believe that life happens to us, that we are at the mercy of circumstances, people, or fate. But when you begin to understand the connection between quantum reality and spiritual awareness, you realize something far more powerful: life is happening through you. Your consciousness is the blueprint that shapes the experiences you attract, the decisions you make, and the reality you live. The quantum field teaches us that, at the most fundamental level, reality is not solid. Atoms, when broken down, are not tiny pieces of matter, but packets of energy and information. They exist as potential, waves of possibility, until they are observed, measured, or interacted with. That means your attention, your focus, and your awareness collapse infinite possibilities into a single experience. What you focus on consistently becomes your reality. If your consciousness is filled with fear, doubt, or limitation, you collapse reality into those outcomes. If your consciousness is filled with faith, gratitude, and vision, you collapse reality into expansion and possibility. Think about it. How many times have you experienced self-fulfilling prophecies? You feared failing, and somehow circumstances lined up in ways that confirmed your fear. Or you expected success, and the right people, opportunities, and moments appeared, almost as if the universe conspired in your favor. This is not coincidence. This is consciousness shaping reality. Spiritual traditions have always told us, A's within, so without. The outer world is a mirror of your inner state. The quantum sciences confirm that the field responds to the energy you emit. Your thoughts carry electrical charge. Your emotions carry magnetic power. Together, they generate the electromagnetic signature that you broadcast into the field around you. And the field responds by bringing experiences that match that signature. So the question becomes, what are you broadcasting every day? What is the energy signature of your consciousness? If you wake up in stress, rehearsing problems of yesterday, worrying about the challenges of tomorrow, then your body, your mind, and your energy are all tuned to a frequency of survival. And survival can only reproduce more of the same. You're not creating, you're repeating. But the moment you shift your awareness, when you choose to wake up with intention, when you choose gratitude before there's a reason, joy before the outcome, and faith before the evidence, you begin to broadcast a completely different frequency. And life responds to you in kind. Reality is shaped by consciousness because consciousness is creative. But here's the truth. Most people are creating unconsciously. They are running on programs of the past, habits that no longer serve them, emotions tied to old wounds. Their mind is replaying the same narratives, their body is addicted to the same stress chemicals, and their energy field is recycling the same frequency. And then they wonder why life never changes. The moment you become conscious of your consciousness, everything shifts. When you observe your thoughts, instead of blindly living them, when you feel your emotions instead of being ruled by them, when you set a vision instead of defaulting to old patterns, you step into the role of creator. You begin to direct your energy rather than let it be scattered. You begin to shape reality intentionally, not accidentally. Imagine for a moment the future you deeply desire. Imagine living in abundance, joy, freedom, and purpose. Now feel into it. Don't just think of it as something distant. Allow yourself to experience it as though it were happening now. Notice what happens inside you when you do this. Your heart opens. Your energy expands. Your mind lights up with possibility. In that moment, you are broadcasting a frequency that matches your desired future. And because reality is shaped by consciousness, you have already started collapsing that possibility into form. This is not fantasy, this is practice. Every great achiever, every visionary, every person who has shifted the world in some way began with an inner vision that shaped their outer reality. They held on to that vision in consciousness long before others could see it. They carried the state of being that aligned with the reality they wanted to live. And in time, reality bent to their will. But the real beauty of this principle is that it is available to everyone. You don't have to be extraordinary. You simply have to become conscious. You have to take responsibility for the energy you carry, the thoughts you rehearse, and the emotions you nurture. When you do, life stops being something random and begins to feel deeply aligned. So I ask you today, are you shaping reality or is reality shaping you? Are you living as the unconscious product of old programs, or are you stepping into the awareness that your consciousness is the ultimate creative force? The hidden key is not outside of you. It has never been outside of you. It is within, waiting for you to use it. Decide now to live from a higher state of awareness. Decide now to wake up every day with a vision of the future you want and with emotions that match that vision. Reality will mirror back to you exactly what you consistently hold in consciousness. And when you choose consciously, deliberately, and consistently, your life will no longer feel accidental. It will feel miraculous. Because in the end, reality is not something fixed. It is fluid. It is alive. And it is shaped always by consciousness. And that consciousness is you. If you want to understand why your life looks the way it does, you must look beyond the surface. You must look beyond the physical things you can touch, see, or measure. Because the truth is this: everything you see in the material world first existed in the invisible world of energy. Energy always precedes matter. Thought precedes form. Vibration precedes manifestation. We live in a universe made of frequencies and fields. At the smallest level, atoms are not solid. They are 99.999% energy and only a tiny fraction matter. That means the reality you experience is fundamentally energetic, not physical. The physical world is simply the slowed down vibration of energy patterns that were already in motion. So when you want to change your life, you cannot begin at the level of matter. You must begin at the level of energy. Most people try to fix their lives only in the physical dimension. They hustle harder, they chase opportunities, they grind against resistance. They believe that if they can just change matter with matter, they'll create new outcomes. But matter is slow to change, and force alone can only take you so far. The real transformation happens when you shift the energetic patterns that give rise to matter. When you change the invisible, the visible must follow. Think about electricity. You can't see it directly, but you can see its effects when it powers a light bulb. Think about wheat. You can't hold it in your hands, but it carries the signals that allow your devices to connect across the world. In the same way, your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are invisible energies, broadcasting signals into the quantum field. Those signals are constantly interacting with the world around you, drawing experiences, people, and events that resonate with your frequency. So here's the question: what energy are you carrying into the world every day? Because whatever you emit, you attract. If you live in the energy of fear, frustration, or lack, you will continue to magnetize experiences that confirm those feelings. But if you elevate your energy to gratitude, love, and joy, even before the evidence shows up, you are aligning with the frequencies of abundance, healing, and opportunity. Energy precedes matter, which means you must become the vibrational match for the life you want before it arrives. You cannot wait for the money to feel abundant. You cannot wait for the relationship to feel love. You cannot wait for the success to feel worthy. If you wait, you're stuck in the illusion that matter comes first. But when you realize energy comes first, you step into a different level of creation. You begin to feel the emotions of your desired future now, and in doing so, you begin to create it. This is why visualization and meditation are so powerful. When you close your eyes and vividly imagine the life you desire, when you feel it as though it's already here, you are generating the energetic frequency of that reality. Your brain and body don't know the difference between a real experience and an imagined one when it is done with enough intensity. So in those moments of practice, you are literally rehearsing a new future into existence. And over time, matter, the physical world, has no choice but to align with that energy. The world's greatest innovators understood this. Nikola Tesla said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Spiritual masters across traditions have taught the same. The unseen creates the seen. What you believe, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you hold in consciousness, you eventually hold in your hands. But here's the trap many fall into. They keep looking at matter to decide how to feel. They let their current circumstances dictate their energy. If the bank account is low, they feel lack. If the relationship is missing, they feel lonely. If the body is sick, they feel broken. And by feeling this way, they continue to broadcast the same energy, which keeps reproducing the same matter. They are locked in a loop of cause and effect. The shift happens when you flip the script. Instead of waiting for matter to change so that your energy can change, you change your energy first. You wake up every day and decide to feel gratitude for the blessings not yet visible, love for the relationship not yet present, vitality for the health not yet complete. You begin to live in the energy of your future before it has materialized, and that energy calls matter to it like a magnet. Energy precedes matter because consciousness precedes creation. You are not just a passive observer of reality, you are a participant in its unfolding. Every thought, every emotion, every belief is an energetic wave that ripples into the field. And the field reflects it back as physical experiences. Change the signal you send, and you change the reality you live in. So I invite you today to stop fighting with matter. Stop waiting for physical circumstances to validate your worth or your vision. Instead, shift your energy. Wake up tomorrow morning and set your frequency deliberately. Speak words that uplift you. Visualize the life you are creating. Feel emotions that elevate your state. Carry that energy into the day and watch how people, opportunities, and synchronicities begin to flow toward you. Because once you truly understand that energy precedes matter, you stop chasing and start attracting. You stop doubting and start trusting. You stop waiting and start creating. And in time, you will see that the invisible has always been the true power, and matter is only its shadow. Remember this: the next level of your life is not waiting for you in the physical. It's waiting for you in the energetic. Change your energy, and the matter must follow. There is a secret doorway to transformation, and it is not hidden in your past or locked somewhere in your future. It is here, it is now. The present moment is the most powerful point you will ever have access to because it is the only place where creation truly happens. Think about how most people live. They are imprisoned by the past, replaying old memories, carrying old pain, rehearsing old failures. Their thoughts are chained to what already happened, and their emotions are anchored to the stories they've told themselves for years. Others are consumed by the future, worrying about what could go wrong, fearing what might not work out, or constantly waiting for the right moment to begin. In both cases, they miss the only point where they can truly create change: the present moment. From a quantum perspective, the present is where all possibilities exist. The past is already collapsed into memory. The future has not yet taken form. But right here, right now, in this moment, infinite potential is available. The choices you make now, the energy you radiate now, the thoughts you think, and the emotions you cultivate now, all of these are collapsing waves of possibility into the reality you will step into next. From a spiritual perspective, the present is sacred. It is the point where you connect to the infinite, where you touch the eternal, when you quiet your mind and let go of the noise of yesterday and the anxiety of tomorrow. You discover a stillness, an awareness, a presence that is untouched by time. In that stillness, you are no longer limited by your history. You are no longer bound by your fears. You are free to create. But here is the challenge: most people are addicted to distraction. Their bodies are addicted to the stress of the past. Their minds are addicted to predicting the future. Their nervous system is constantly firing in survival mode, pulling them out of the now. And as long as you are absent from the present, you cannot access its power. The key is awareness. When you notice your mind drifting into yesterday or racing into tomorrow, gently bring it back here. When you catch yourself repeating old emotional patterns, pause and breathe into this moment. When you find yourself restless, worrying, or waiting for something outside you to change before you can feel different, remind yourself this moment is enough. Because when you anchor into the present, You shift from reaction to creation. Every great transformation begins here. Think about the moments when you felt truly alive, watching a sunset, laughing with someone you love, fully immersed in a passion. In those moments, you weren't thinking about the past or worrying about the future. You were fully present, and in that presence, you felt expanded, connected, infinite. That is the power available to you right now in every moment you choose to return to awareness. The present moment also frees you from the limitations of identity. The person you were yesterday is simply a pattern of thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. If you carry them into today unconsciously, you will keep creating the same reality. But when you step into the present with full awareness, you have the chance to break the pattern. You can think a new thought, you can feel a new emotion, you can take a new action. And in doing so, you step into a new self, and that new self creates a new life. This is why meditation is so powerful. Meditation is the practice of training your awareness to rest in the present. It teaches you to observe your thoughts without being ruled by them, to notice your emotions without being consumed by them. Over time, you develop the ability to live with more presence even outside of meditation, carrying that calm, clear, connected awareness into your daily life. And when you live from presence, you access a higher intelligence, a deeper intuition, and a greater creativity than the thinking mind alone could ever provide. Imagine what your life would look like if you lived fully present. Instead of being weighed down by yesterday's failures, you would see today as a fresh opportunity. Instead of being paralyzed by tomorrow's uncertainty, you would act with clarity and courage right now. Instead of chasing happiness in the future, you would feel it here, in this breath, in this heartbeat, in this moment. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the past or neglecting the future. It means not being enslaved by them. It means using the lessons of the past without reliving its pain. It means planning for the future without fearing it. It means trusting that the only time you have to shape your destiny is now, and that is more than enough. When you align with the present, you align with power, you align with creation, you align with the field of infinite possibilities. And from that state, you can make choices and take actions that change everything. So I invite you to make a decision today. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop carrying the weight of the past. Stop projecting your energy into a future that doesn't yet exist. Instead, come back here, breathe, feel your heart beating, feel the energy of life moving through you. This moment is alive, and so are you. And in this aliveness, all things are possible, because the truth is this: the present moment is not just a point in time. It is the gateway to eternity. It is the canvas on which you paint your destiny. It is the place where quantum potential meets spiritual truth. And when you learn to live here, fully, deeply, consciously, you discover that the power to create your future was never somewhere else. It was always here, in the now. Most of us like to believe that we are living consciously, making decisions with full awareness, steering the direction of our lives. But neuroscience and psychology reveal a startling truth: up to 95% of our daily actions, choices, and responses are governed not by our conscious mind, but by the subconscious. That means for most of the day, you are not truly choosing. You are running on programs, habits, and patterns stored deep within. And if those programs are outdated, limited, or rooted in past pain, then no matter how hard you try consciously, your life will keep producing the same results. The subconscious mind is like the operating system of your life. It holds every memory, every belief, every emotional imprint from childhood to now. It governs the way you see yourself, what you believe you deserve, how you respond to challenges, and even the opportunities you allow into your reality. If you grew up hearing that success is difficult, that money is scarce, or that you're not worthy of love, those ideas didn't just stay as thoughts, they became embedded as subconscious programs. And unless you reprogram them, they quietly run the show. This is why so many people struggle with lasting motivation. They consciously set goals, they affirm positive intentions, They even visualize their dreams. But deep down, if their subconscious is programmed with fear, doubt, or unworthiness, it will sabotage their progress. The conscious mind may want success, but the subconscious mind is still loyal to the identity of failure. The conscious mind may desire abundance, but the subconscious still operates on scarcity. The conscious mind may long for love, but the subconscious carries wounds of rejection. And in this battle, the subconscious always wins unless you learn to reprogram it. So how do we reprogram the subconscious? It begins with awareness. You cannot change what you don't recognize. Start by observing your automatic patterns. Notice your thoughts when you wake up. Pay attention to the emotions that repeat daily. Watch the behaviors you default to when you're stressed. These are windows into the programs running beneath the surface. Awareness is the first step toward liberation. The second step is visualization and emotional rehearsal. The subconscious does not learn through logic or willpower. It learns through repetition and emotion. When you consistently visualize a new future and feel the emotions of that future now, you are installing new programs into your subconscious. The more you rehearse this, the more natural it becomes. Over time, the subconscious begins to accept the new story as truth, and it starts directing your behaviors, responses, and opportunities toward it. Think about how a professional athlete trains. They don't just practice physically, they rehearse mentally. They visualize every move, every motion, every outcome. Their subconscious becomes so familiar with success that when the moment arrives, their body performs it as if it had already happened. The same principle applies to your life. Repetition plus emotion equals reprogramming. Meditation is another powerful tool. When you enter meditative states, brain waves slow down from beta into alpha and theta. These states are the bridge between conscious and subconscious. In that space, you can bypass the analytical mind and plant new suggestions directly into the subconscious. That is why affirmations said in meditation are so powerful. They are not bouncing off the surface. They are sinking deep into the soil of the mind where true change takes root. But here's the key. You cannot simply repeat affirmations without feeling them. If you say, I am abundant, while still feeling lack, your subconscious does not accept it. But if you say it while generating the feeling of gratitude and joy, your subconscious begins to align with it. The subconscious speaks the language of emotion, not logic. So the more elevated the emotion you bring, the faster the reprogramming. Over time, as you practice, something incredible happens. The old programs lose their grip. The belief that you are unworthy dissolves, and in its place emerges a deep sense of worthiness. The story that money is scarce fades, and in its place arises an energy of abundance. The fear of rejection disappears, replaced by the joy of authentic connection. And as your subconscious reprograms, your reality must follow. Because remember, 95% of your life is a mirror of your subconscious. Change the subconscious, and you change the reflection. This is why reprogramming the subconscious is not just personal development, it is spiritual liberation. It is the process of freeing yourself from the chains of the past, the invisible scripts that were written before you were even aware. It is reclaiming your power as a conscious creator. And when you do, you stop repeating the same day over and over again, and you begin to live in the reality you've consciously chosen. So I ask you, what programs are running your life? Are they serving your highest potential, or are they keeping you small? Are you living out old stories written by others, or are you writing a new story aligned with your vision? The choice is yours. Decide today to become the programmer of your mind. Decide today to no longer accept limitation as your truth. Practice awareness, practice visualization, practice meditation with emotion, and above all, practice consistency. Because the subconscious is not reprogrammed overnight, it is reprogrammed through daily alignment with the future you are creating. When you commit to this path, you will notice subtle shifts. Opportunities you once overlooked will appear. Synchronicities will guide you. Your habits will change without effort. Your relationships will transform. and life will begin to mirror the new programs you've installed. The greatest freedom is this: you are not defined by your past programs. You are not condemned to live on autopilot. You have the ability to rewrite the code of your subconscious, and in doing so, to rewrite the story of your life. Reprogram your subconscious, and you reprogram your destiny. There is a hidden power within you, one that most people never learn to access. It is the state of coherence, the alignment of your heart and your mind. When your thoughts and your emotions are in harmony, when intention and feeling move as one, you enter a state of extraordinary power. In that state, you don't just wish for change, you become the change. Most people live in incoherence. Their mind thinks one thing, but their heart feels another. Their mind may set the intention, I want success. But their heart carries doubt, fear, or unworthiness. Their mind says, I want to be abundant, but their heart feels lack. Their mind says, I want love, but their heart is still carrying wounds from the past. This split between thought and feeling creates conflict. And that conflict weakens the signal you send out into the field. Remember this: your thoughts are the electrical charge you send out, and your emotions are the magnetic pull that draws experiences back to you. When your thoughts and feelings are misaligned, the signal is scattered, inconsistent, and weak. But when your mind and heart come into coherence, when your thoughts of success are matched by feelings of gratitude, when your vision of abundance is matched by feelings of joy, when your desire for love is matched by feelings of wholeness, the signal becomes amplified, clear, and powerful. This is not philosophy, it's measurable. HeartMath Institute research shows that the heart generates an electromagnetic field 60 times greater in amplitude than the brain's electrical activity. When the heart is in a state of coherence, producing rhythms of harmony and balance, it influences the brain, synchronizing neural patterns, improving clarity, creativity, and intuition. The body enters alignment. Energy flows smoothly, and the field around you reflects this harmony back. Think about what this means. When your mind and heart are coherent, you are no longer broadcasting confusion into the field. You are broadcasting wholeness, and wholeness attracts wholeness. How do you create this state of coherence? It begins with awareness of your thoughts and emotions. Too often, we live split lives, thinking positively but feeling negatively, saying affirmations with our mind while our body still carries old emotions. To create coherence, you must marry thought with feeling. If you think of abundance, you must feel abundant. If you think of love, you must feel love. If you think of health, you must feel vitality. One of the most powerful ways to create coherence is through gratitude. Gratitude is the emotion that bridges the gap between the present and the future. When you feel grateful for a future that hasn't yet arrived, your heart enters coherence. Your mind says, "This is my vision," and your heart says, "I already feel it." That harmony sends a powerful signal into the field, and life begins to reflect it back. Another practice is heart-centered breathing. Place your attention on your heart. Slow your breath. Imagine each inhale and exhale flowing in and out of your chest. As you breathe, generate a feeling of love, compassion, or appreciation. Let that feeling expand until it fills your entire body. Then direct your mind toward the vision you are creating. In that moment, your heart and mind synchronize. Your electromagnetic field expands. You step into coherence. When you live in this state, you notice changes. You feel calmer, clearer, more creative. Decisions come with ease. Opportunities flow. Synchronicities appear. Relationships deepen. Why? Because coherence is the language of the universe. When you are coherent, you are not pushing against life. You are flowing with it. You are not sending mixed signals. You are sending a clear broadcast of wholeness. Coherence also heals. When the heart and brain are in harmony, the body shifts into balance. Stress decreases, immune function improves, and cells regenerate. You are literally programming your biology for health. You become a living example of the truth that the mind and body are not separate. They are connected through the bridge of the heart. But perhaps the greatest gift of coherence is the feeling itself. When you experience your mind and heart as one, you feel complete. You are no longer chasing something outside of you to feel whole. You are whole now. And when you live from wholeness, everything you attract into your life enhances that state rather than trying to fill a void. That is why coherent people radiate a presence that inspires others. They don't chase, they attract. They don't force, they flow. They don't seek, they embody. So I invite you today to practice coherence. Don't just think about the life you want, feel it in your heart. Don't just set intentions with your mind, breathe life into them with elevated emotions. Begin every morning by aligning your thoughts with your feelings. See your future in your mind and feel it in your heart. As you practice, your body will memorize this state. It will become natural. And the more coherent you are, the more powerfully you will create. Because coherence is not something rare or mystical. It is your natural state. It is the alignment you were designed to live in. When you return to it, you rediscover your power as a creator. And in that state, you no longer wonder if your dreams will come true. You know, deep in your heart that they already exist, and it's only a matter of time before they manifest in the physical. So let your heart and mind unite. Let thought and feeling merge, live each day in coherence, and watch as the universe mirrors back to you the harmony you carry within. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must make a choice, continue living as a victim of circumstances or rise into the role of creator. This is not a small decision. It is the most important decision you will ever make, because the reality you live in is not shaped by chance. It is shaped by your consciousness. Most people live as victims. They believe life is happening to them. They think the economy decides their abundance, their past defines their future, and other people control their worth. They give their power away day after day to circumstances, opinions, and fears. They carry stories of limitation. I can't because of my background. I can't because of what happened to me. I can't because the odds are against me. And so their life becomes a repetition of the same patterns, the same emotions, the same results. But here is the truth: you are not a victim of your life. You are the author of it. Every thought you think is a brushstroke. Every emotion you feel is a color. Every choice you make is a line of the script. And the moment you take responsibility for this authorship, you shift from being powerless to being powerful. Think about this. The energy field around you responds to the signals you broadcast. If you send out fear, worry, or resentment, the field reflects that back through experiences that match those emotions. But if you send out love, gratitude, and intention, the field reorganizes around those elevated states. Victims repeat their past because they live in old emotions. Creators design their future because they live in the energy of possibility. So how do you step into the role of creator? The first step is awareness. You must see the ways in which you have been living as a victim. Do you blame others for your lack of success? Do you tell yourself that your past has more power than your present? Do you let fear decide your choices? These are signs of victimhood. Recognize them without judgment, because awareness is the beginning of transformation. The second step is responsibility. Responsibility doesn't mean blame. It means responsibility, the ability to choose your response. No matter what has happened to you, you have the power now to decide how you think, how you feel, and how you act. This power is your birthright. The more you exercise it, the more you reclaim your role as creator. The third step is to design your state of being. Remember, you don't create a new future by living in the emotions of the past. You create a new future by embodying the emotions of that future now. Ask yourself, if I were already abundant, how would I feel today? If I were already successful, how would I walk into this room? If I were already loved, how would I treat myself? And then live as if it were true. Because when you act from the energy of your future, you become a vibrational match to it. And reality has no choice but to mirror it back. Creators also understand that setbacks are not punishments. They are feedback. Life is always teaching, always guiding, always reflecting. When something doesn't work out, a victim says, "Why me?" A creator says, "What is this showing me about my energy, my beliefs, my alignment?" In this way, every challenge becomes fuel for growth, every obstacle becomes a stepping stone, every delay becomes a redirection towards something greater. Living as a creator also requires courage, because stepping out of victimhood means leaving behind the familiar stories you've told yourself. It means no longer hiding behind excuses. It means choosing to believe in yourself even when circumstances haven't yet changed. But remember this, the quantum field does not respond to your circumstances, it responds to your state of being. And when your state of being says, "I am powerful, I am abundant, I am worthy," the field reorganizes around that truth. This is the essence of spiritual motivation, realizing that your inner state creates your outer reality. The more coherent, elevated, and intentional your inner world, the more miraculous your outer world becomes. Victims wait for evidence to feel good. Creators feel good first, and evidence follows. Victims wait for opportunities. Creators generate opportunities. Victims hope. Creators know. I invite you today to make the decision no longer live as a victim of your past, your circumstances, or your doubts. Step fully into the role of creator. Wake up each morning and declare, "Today, I choose my thoughts. Today, I choose my emotions. Today, I choose to align with the energy of my future." If you practice this daily, you will begin to see synchronicities, opportunities, and breakthroughs unfold around you. Not because life has changed randomly, but because you have changed deliberately. Remember, this life is not happening to you. It is happening through you. You are the vessel through which consciousness expresses itself. And when you choose to live as a creator, you don't just transform your own reality. You become an example for others. Your energy uplifts those around you. Your courage gives others permission to believe in themselves. Your life becomes evidence that we are far more powerful than we've been conditioned to believe. So let this be your moment. Release the identity of the victim. Step into the truth of the creator. Align your thoughts and feelings with the life you choose to live. Embody the emotions of your future now, and watch as reality bends in response. Because you were never meant to survive as a victim, you were meant to thrive as a creator. And when you live from that truth, miracles are not just possible, they are inevitable.